Let's talk about Keir Starmer. So Keir Starmer is facing pressure to halt funding for French Channel patrols after new data revealed that around two-thirds of small boat migrants successfully reach Britain. So just to repeat that, two-thirds of small boat migrants successfully reach Britain. Wow. Prime Minister is expected to approve fresh payments to France when the current agreement expires, but Conservative and Reform UK figures are demanding that no further payments be handed over without evidence of tougher action from France. And again, Esther, just to look at how many people have crossed the channel in small boats, last year it was more than 41,000. That's an increase of 13%.
Yes, I mean, so far the UK has handed the French authorities over 700 million pounds, which we are still wondering what has been done with that, because again, their success rate is so low. There have been allegations that French police have actually been busing these migrants to sort of the points on the beaches where they're actually getting onto these dinghies to cross the channel. And I think what I find quite spectacular is how naive this government is in not assuming or not even deducing the inherently political role that this whole crisis has taken on. The French don't want a lot of these migrants, and they're happy to wring their hands of them and send them to Britain as Britain's problem. This whole issue of migrant crossings didn't just start in the Channel. It started in the Mediterranean, and many Mediterranean or European countries bordering the Mediterranean have had to deal with this. Italy, for example, has had to deal with a lot of influx of migrants. Spain, France, many of them are considering, offshoring migrants to third world processing countries. So it's a significant problem for France as well, and it's really had a huge impact on their own domestic policy situation. You've seen the rise of the Front National in France, mainly because of this not only unprecedented wave of legal immigration, but also illegal immigration. The only saving grace, I think, for the French is it's more difficult for illegal migrants to work in France because it's a more document-heavy country. In the UK, there's no such thing. We don't have national ID cards, for example, even though they've been tried to implement it twice, first under Blair and more recently under Keir Starmer, even though that failed and it was another of the government's incessant U-turns. So the French are quite happy to wash their hands of this. And I think for Keir Starmer to not notice that and for his government to look poised to approve more payments without demanding even more rigorous policing is quite incredible, and just shows his lack of judgment on this matter as well as many other matters across the country.
Just finally, the Gorton and Denton by-election is shaping up to be potentially a turning point in Starmer's tenure. Of course, the Gorton and Denton areas have been a Labor stronghold for decades, yet it's a three-way race. What can you tell us about this? What are you expecting?
Well, the mathematical formula is quite an interesting one. This particular constituency, you have on the one hand sort of urban settlers alongside a very large, significant ethnic minority, mainly made up of Muslim voters. And then on the other hand, you have sort of white working class individuals that Reform is targeting quite heavily, arguing that they've been left behind by the government and by successive governments. So that is the interesting split. What Reform is banking on is that the Green Party will actually split the Labour vote, which will allow Reform to romp to victory. But this by-election has descended into something ugly that people weren't expecting. You're seeing this unholy alliance between traditional, like blue-haired Green supporters and actually traditionalist Muslim voters that are basically voting on sectarian lines, voting on a pro-Gaza platform. Would you believe that the Green Party has been releasing ads in Urdu and Bengali in order to woo these voters? And what does it say about the state of Britain when a national party is campaigning, not just on such tribal and sectarian lines, but is literally putting out campaign adverts in foreign languages to secure the vote? I mean, Britain is becoming like an airport lounge where you have people from all sorts of different walks of life just sharing a geographical location. And unfortunately, this by-election says something much deeper about the state of Britain, not just the fact that the country is overwhelmingly unimpressed with the Labour Party at the moment.
You're spot on, writer and broadcaster Esther Kraku. Thank you so much.
Thank you.